Have you ever felt something strange down there, but thought it was nothing? An unusual itch? A nuisance that comes and goes? Or that feeling that there is something different right in the anal region, but you chose to ignore it? What if I told you that many men who let these signs go unnoticed ended up facing the worst diagnosis of their lives? And worse, too late to do something. The truth is that no one wants to think that such a small symptom could be the beginning of a tragedy. But when we talk about prostate health, it can all start with something subtle, something almost imperceptible, and still be the beginning of the end. What many don't know or refuse to believe is that certain signs in the anus can be your prostate's first silent cry for help. Yes, that's exactly what you heard. Sometimes the body starts to scream, but in a way that few can hear. Most men feel ashamed, avoid talking about it, and when they finally decide to seek help, the situation is already out of control. And you? Will it be another one you ignore? Or will you choose to protect yourself now? This video may be uncomfortable for some, but it can literally save lives. What you will discover today has perhaps never been explained to you in such a clear, direct, and respectful way. And no, we're not talking about exaggerations. We're talking about science, medicine, and your life. Get ready, because what comes next could completely change the way you view your health. But I'm warning you, this video is not for those who prefer to pretend that everything is fine. It's for those who have the courage to face the truth, to take care of themselves and not let a small sign turn into an irreversible problem. Now that you're here, don't ignore it. Stick with me until the end, and you'll understand exactly why that mole in your anus could be the beginning of the end for your prostate, and what to do to stop it from happening to you. If there's anything that life has shown us, it's that the body warns us. Always warn. But the problem is that many times we choose not to listen. Pretend it's nothing. Leave it for later. You think it will go away on its own. And it is exactly in this after that the danger lies. Time passes, the signal gets worse, the risk increases, and when you realize it, you can't go back. Have you ever seen someone lose their health for ignoring a simple warning? Have you ever heard someone say, "If I had gone to the doctor sooner"? So it is. This doesn't have to happen to you. Prostate health is not a topic that can be left aside. It's not an exaggeration. It's not drama. It's reality. A reality that often begins silently, discreetly, almost invisible. And when it explodes, it has already devastated everything. And in this scenario, you are the one who pays the price. Your quality of life, your energy, your freedom, your dignity. So, pay attention to every word in this video. Value this moment because most men don't have access to this type of alert. This channel was created with one purpose: to prevent you from discovering prostate problems when it is too late. Sign up now, because here you will have access to vital information to protect your men's health. That mole on your anus that you may be ignoring may seem small, unimportant, even normal in your everyday life. But what many men don't know, and what they unfortunately discover too late, is that this small detail could be the first silent cry of warning that something more serious is forming inside your body, and in particular, in your prostate. Now stop for a second and reflect. When was the last time you paid attention to the signals coming from this region of your body? Have you ever felt pain, itching, burning, or noticed some kind of strange secretion there and simply ignored it? Why did you think it was just an irritation, some kind of crack, or maybe even an allergy? Well, that's exactly how serious problems begin, with subtle signals that the body sends, but which are left aside because they seem too small to be taken seriously. But the body is intelligent. He never does anything by chance. If you are feeling something strange in your anus, even if it is something very mild, know that this could be the gateway to serious complications, including inflammation that directly affects the prostate. And I know maybe this is scaring you right now, but I ask you in all sincerity, which is better? Having this scare now and having time to act, or finding out too late when the problem has already evolved into something that will compromise your entire life? Because there is a hard truth, which many people prefer to hide. Anal symptoms are often linked to infections that, if not treated in time, migrate to the urethra and from there reach directly to the prostate. And when that happens, my friend, the suffering is not small. And don't be fooled into thinking that this only happens to older men. None of that. More and more men in their 30s and 40s are being diagnosed with bacterial or non-bacterial prostatitis due to infections that started in the anus and were ignored. All because of that thought, this will pass by itself. It won't. The body doesn't solve everything alone. You need to cooperate with him. You need to know yourself. You need to observe. Because when you learn to listen to your body's signals, you save time. And time, when it comes to men's health, is worth its weight in gold. It's worth life, worth the future. And maybe you're thinking now, but how can something so simple be the beginning of something so serious? It's simple to understand. The anus area is extremely vascular and full of nerve endings. If a bacteria gets in there, it finds an easy way to spread. And if it reaches the prostate, it causes inflammation, pain when urinating, pain during sexual intercourse, fever, weakness, and in more serious cases, even abscesses that require hospitalization. That's what we're talking about here. It's not cool. It's not an exaggeration. It's real. It is serious. And it can happen to any man, including you who are listening to me now. Now tell me, is this a risk really worth taking? Is it worth paying to see it? Ignoring this sign in the anus is like seeing a live wire at home and pretending it's not there. Sooner or later, the short circuit happens, and the damage is great. But in this case, the damage is to your body, in your health, in your sex life, in your self-esteem, in your freedom. Do you really want to live hostage to pain that could have been avoided with a simple exam? Do you want to experience the anguish of not knowing if the infection has already reached the prostate? Or worse, discovering that it has already caused irreversible damage? Take a deep breath and think about it fondly. Because this video could be the turning point between a healthy life and a future full of regrets. If you felt something different, don't be ashamed. Don't hide it. Don't push with your belly. Go to the doctor. Talk to a urologist. Take the exams. Take care of your health while there is still time. Don't wait for your body to shout what it is already whispering now. And before ending this first alert, I want to make a sincere request. If at any point in this video you identified yourself, if you felt that this content opened your eyes, if it awakened a concern that was dormant inside, then help me bring this message to more men. Men like you, they deserve to know this before it's too late. Comment below. Now I understand that my health comes first. This helps me know who is really committed to taking care of their own men's health and encourages me to continue bringing this type of content that can save lives. There is a type of problem that many men live with for years without even imagining the harm it could be doing inside. You know that burning sensation in your anus that comes and goes? The persistent itch? That discomfort when cleaning yourself after having a bowel movement, as if the area was too sensitive? Well, this discomfort that seems small could be hiding a much more serious situation than you imagine. The name of this is chronic anal inflammation. And what few men know is that this type of inflammation, when not treated correctly, can open dangerous doors to something much more serious, prostatic inflammation. And now I want you to pay attention to every word, because what I'm going to tell you can literally save your health. The anal region is made up of muscles, blood vessels, and nerve endings that are directly connected to other intimate parts of your body. When this area suffers from constant inflammation, even if it seems small, the body begins to live in a state of alert. This means that it begins to produce chain inflammatory responses, even affecting neighboring organs. And one of them, as you can already imagine, is your prostate. And no, that's not an exaggeration. It has already been proven by medical studies that persistent inflammatory processes in the anal region increase the chance of prostatic inflammation. And do you know why? Because the body's defenses become confused. The body does not understand whether the problem is localized or whether it is spreading, so it begins to react in a generalized way. What was supposed to be a local defense turns into a greater inflammatory attack. And the prostate, which is already naturally sensitive to this type of stimulus, ends up suffering the consequences. And there's more. When this inflammation reaches the prostate, the body doesn't scream at once. He sends signals little by little. Pain when urinating begins to appear, pressure in the bladder increases, the urinary stream loses strength, and many men still ignore it. They think it's because they drank little water, or that it's the cold, or even stress. But it's not. The problem is there, evolving silently, advancing every day, until the point where the discomfort turns into real suffering. Now stop and reflect with me. How many times have you felt discomfort in the anal region and simply let it go? How many times have you thought this must just be a hemorrhoid and not even considered seeing a doctor? Because what few men understand is that yes, hemorrhoids exist and are common, but they may also just be the tip of the iceberg. They can be the first symptom of an inflammatory imbalance that, if ignored, will travel down the pelvis, through the tissues, and directly affect the prostate. It's like a slow fire that starts at the edge of the forest and spreads until it reaches the center. And if you're thinking now, but I've never felt severe pain, so I guess it's nothing serious, be careful. Precisely because it doesn't hurt that much at first, many men let it go. And then, when they decide to seek help, the inflammation has already taken hold, often requiring antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, more invasive tests, and even hospitalizations. You know that saying, he who warns is a friend. So listen to what I'm going to tell you now, as if it were from a friend who truly cares about your health. If you are having recurring episodes of anal itching, burning, mild pain, or a feeling of pressure in that area, don't treat it as something normal. This could be your body trying to alert you that the prostate is being silently threatened. And if you keep ignoring it, the price could be much higher than you realize. So I want you to do something now, but do it with an open heart, with sincerity. If you have experienced this or know someone who has been suffering silently with recurring anal discomfort, comment below. I will no longer ignore my body's signals. This comment could be a turning point for you and other men who will read it and realize that they are not alone. Let's create a chain of male awareness here. No more shame, no more leaving it for later. Your health is worth more than any excuse. Now I'm going to reveal a visual sign that many men notice in the anus, but that they rarely associate with the prostate. And when they notice it, it may be too late. Many people believe that to know if the prostate has a problem, it is necessary to undergo complex tests, feel severe pain, or receive a direct diagnosis from a doctor. But what almost no one realizes is that in some cases, the body begins to show clues long before that. And many of these clues are visible right before our eyes. The problem is that most men don't know what to look for, or worse, they see it but ignore it, and that can be very costly. Now I want you to stop everything and pay attention, because what I'm about to reveal could be a real red alert for your men's health. There is a visual change that appears in the anal region, and although it may seem small or even aesthetic, it may be one of the first external manifestations that your prostate is suffering from the inside. Yes, I'm talking about changes such as excessive darkening of the skin around the anus, the presence of more visible veins, small warts or bumps that appear suddenly and don't disappear, and even fine cracks that insist on returning even after hygiene. Maybe you think, but isn't this just a skin issue? Or maybe something I ate, tight clothes, I don't know. And that's where the danger lies. When these changes appear without a very clear cause, and especially when they are recurrent, this could be a reflection of a much more internal problem. The anal region is highly vascularized, that is, full of veins and vessels, and these structures are closely linked to the pelvic system as a whole, including the prostate. If something goes wrong with the prostate, for example, mild inflammation or circulatory problems associated with it, these changes may end up manifesting themselves first on the outside of the body. Imagine this. Your body is like a control panel, and when a red light starts flashing, you can't just cover it with your hand and move on. The right thing to do would be to stop, look, and understand what that light is trying to say. These visual changes in the anus are exactly that, a type of warning that your body is giving off. And the most curious thing, many men who ignore these signs end up discovering later on that they already have advanced prostatitis, prostatic hyperplasia, or even the beginning of prostate cancer. And you may even ask yourself, but how can the appearance of the anus be related to the prostate? The answer is simple. The prostate is located just below the bladder and in front of the rectum. Any inflammation in this gland can put pressure on the surrounding tissues, affect circulation, and even compromise the functioning of the nerves and muscles in the region. This changes the way blood reaches the anus, how the skin reacts, and how tissues recover. It's like dominoes. The first piece falls, and if you don't act, everything else goes with it. Another detail that few comment on, but which is essential. In many cases, these visual changes are accompanied by slight discomfort when sitting for long periods, a feeling of anal swelling even without physical effort, and even nighttime itching that makes you wake up tossing and turning in bed. None of this is by chance. When the prostate is overworked or inflamed, the surrounding area begins to suffer as well. And if at this moment you are thinking, has this ever happened to me? So don't ignore this doubt. Don't wait for the symptoms to get worse. Don't fool yourself into thinking that just because the pain hasn't appeared yet, everything is fine. Pain is not the only warning sign. Sometimes the body begins to show that something is wrong in a much more subtle way. And if you know how to observe and act in time, you can avoid serious consequences down the road. Therefore, my advice to you today is simple, direct, and vital. Look more at yourself. Pay attention to the details, the silent signals that your body is sending you. Your prostate health may depend on it. And if you've ever noticed any strange darkening, small blisters, persistent cracks, or visible changes in the skin around your anus, don't let it pass you by. Now, before continuing, I want to make a sincere request. If this content opened your eyes, if you realize the importance of observing even the most discreet signs of your body, write here in the comments. I will no longer ignore the signs I see in the mirror. This simple attitude will help you fix this warning in your mind, and it can even open the eyes of other men who read it. Men who, like you, are seeking to protect themselves before it is too late. Now that you've come this far, it's impossible to leave this video the same man as before. You learned about details that almost no one talks about, hidden signs that the body shows in silence, and now you are equipped with valuable knowledge that could literally save your health and even your life. The promise was made at the beginning, to reveal the secret signs that most men ignore, but which can be a clear warning that the prostate is asking for help. And if you paid attention until the end, you could certainly see how real, important, and often decisive these signs are. The feeling now must be one of relief for having discovered this in time. And it doesn't matter if you've already noticed any of these signs in your own body, or if you're just here as a precaution. The most important thing is that you have left the risk zone of ignorance. Because the worst attitude a man can have regarding his own health is silence, and the second worst is carelessness. But you decided to act differently. He decided to seek information, understand his body, protect himself, and that deserves to be recognized. Now that you understand all this, the next step is to take action. Make an appointment with a urologist, even if it's just for a checkup. Speak to a trusted professional, explain your doubts, describe your symptoms, and keep all preventive exams up to date. The prostate is a silent gland, but when it suffers, the entire body suffers along with it. And the sooner you identify any problem, the greater the chances of a cure, quality of life, and peace of mind in the future. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This shows that you really care about your health and want to avoid problems before it's too late. I want to invite you to leave a comment saying that you watched the full video so that I can get to know you and know who is really committed to taking care of their own men's health. Also, check now if you are already subscribed to the channel. If not yet, click the subscribe button. Take advantage and leave a like on this video so YouTube understands that this content is important and delivers it to more people. And share it with your friends, your brothers, your father, your uncle, any man you love and want to see healthy. This can make a huge difference in their lives. Most men only realize that something is wrong with their prostate when it's too late. In the first pinned comment, I left a link to a playlist that can prevent this from happening to you. Watch now before it's too late.